Welcome to Podcasts, recorded live at the Center for Spiritual Living in Portland, Oregon. We have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its video podcast, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.
Right on, that's Friends Band. They're the best. So good morning and welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living. We're going to do an opening song, and it's in your, what do you call that, program?
That thing, it's in that thing.
We're doing We Come Together by Eddie Watkins Jr. So if everybody could stand and we'll get this rockin' song going.
Look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love. We come together.
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 In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves me and I love you. Lift your voice above the sanctuary. Lift your voice and sing after me. We come together. We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
In the name of love. We come together.
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 In the name of love. From every walk of life. Every walk of life. Every creed and color.
Every creed and color.
In kinship we unite. In honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Okay then.
Good morning. Yes? Okay, there we go. Well, we do come together in the name of love. Welcome. Good morning. Well, good morning, person in the front row. Yay. Thanks, Ed. Welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living. We're a science of mind community that teaches and practices spiritual principles to transform our lives and to make the world a better place. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. All we ask is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life simply by changing your mind. My name is Sandy Liebold, and I serve as a licensed spiritual practitioner here. It's my honor to welcome you. Do we have anyone new here today? If you want to just raise your hand, welcome. We don't bite, we just clap for you and say good morning. Nice to have you here. Thank you for being here. And also, if there are people new in our virtual community, please go ahead and put something in the chat so we know that you're new and we can welcome you there as well. And if you are here new in person, we do have a welcome packet. They're at the table at the back of the sanctuary. And also, the same information is available online for our global community on our website at cslportland.org under the About Us menu tab. Either way, you'll find a lot of information about who we are, what we stand for, and how we might serve you. Also on our website, you can sign up for weekly emails that detail our events, register for classes, and even get a free gift on your birthday. So we have a number of announcements today, and actually, I understand we have an announcement relative to the youth ministry. You're going to do, okay. Someone told me Soleil was going to come up. Okay, all right. So I will start then by saying that we are beginning our annual observance for the Season for Peace and Nonviolence. The season runs each year for the 64 days between January 30th and April 4th, which are the dates that marked the assassinations of Mohandas Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is a time to contemplate and, more importantly, act on the principles of nonviolence that were espoused by both of these spiritual and political leaders. Here at the center, we provide a booklet, and they are physically in the back of the room at the moment if you want to catch one on your way out. They will also be online on our website. So in this booklet, we have daily themes and readings for your own study and action. Each Sunday, we'll read the theme for that particular day, and then on each Wednesday, the evening meditation during the season will focus on the daily theme as well. So the first theme is courage. And we need to go within to find our courage, to stand in truth in the face of injustice or fear. We can express peace and nonviolence as we recognize and stand in divine truth. As Ernest Holmes wrote in the Science of Mind textbook, the truth is positive but non-combative. It is sure of itself, but never argumentative. The student of truth will receive all that is of the truth. All else will fall by its own weight. So please join licensed practitioner Kate Barrett this Wednesday as she leads the weekly online meditation session on the topic of courage, and join in this global movement to be peace in the world. Speaking of truth with a capital T, it's time to sign up for an exciting class meeting on 7 Tuesday evenings beginning on February 6th. The course is called The Mystical Path, formerly known as Practical Mysticism. It will be facilitated by Reverend Marilyn Sprague and Kate Barrett, Practitioner Emerita. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn from ancient mystics and to consider how mystical experiences are still available to all of us. So sign up online now. I invite you to visit our website to see all the other wondrous opportunities to support your spiritual growth, and you can find them under the Education and Events and Programs tabs. Remember that all programs are listed in Pacific Time. Today I also have an update that our board president and licensed practitioner Nadine Muller has asked me to share. Unfortunately, she's unable to be here today. She's under the weather, but wanted to report that the new minister search process continues to unfold beautifully, in her words. Nadine says we have made significant progress in the process, and there's a lot of activity occurring behind the scenes, so there's much going on that we may not be aware of. She also says there are daily demonstrations that we're on the right track as a community in this process. So stay tuned, and please be assured that all is unfolding in perfect ways, and the next steps will be revealed. All is well, and so it is. One of those next steps is a workshop, and again, if you're in the sanctuary, you have this in your bulletin. Next Sunday, the 4th of February, after Sunday service from 12:30 to 3:30, both in person here upstairs and also online. There is Reverend Ruth Miller is offering a special workshop. It's called PCSL's Grand Rising, Appreciative Inquiry. And so what this is an opportunity to use a method called appreciative inquiry. And Dr. Miller will lead us through a process to help us all find and name what we love about PCSL, what we want to see remain, want to see more of, as this process of hiring a new minister unfolds. For those of us here in person, a light lunch will be provided, so important to register by the 1st of February so we can plan for the lunch. And of course, it will be totally available on Zoom as well. I guess you'll have to eat your own lunch. But please register as soon as possible online, or again, those of you here, you can go to the bookstore and register with the help of Debbie Pettijohn today. So that is one of the next steps that's happening with regard to the minister search. Today, licensed practitioners Sylvia Miller and Annette Bolster are serving on High Watch, holding a sacred container of consciousness in the sanctuary and for our beloved virtual community. Our flowers, like most Sundays, are courtesy of Kat Jacobs. Thank you, Kat. Today, our special music features the talented Ellen Whyte and our wonderful friends band. Welcome, welcome. And today's message, Feeling Good, is by Reverend Christine Green. Great. So sit back and relax, because I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, and the message is exactly what your heart came to receive.
So take a big breath and settle in for our short meditation. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am, God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am, God is, I am, right here, right now, right
invite you to join me in affirmative prayer. How good it is in this moment to know that God is everywhere present. There is just one power, one presence, one life, one love. It is everywhere present. It is in every person, place, thing, event, circumstance on this planet and beyond. It is just the one thing happening. It is the truth with a capital T. God is. And I am. Each of us is an individualized expression of this one God, this one spirit, this one divine energy. We are divine beings having a human experience. That is the truth of our lives. And as we ever more lean into that, we can always reach out and express those qualities of God: wisdom, love, clarity, courage, faith, love, all of them, any of them in any moment, because we are that which is. And so today what I know and claim is that I am always at choice. I embrace clarity as I consider what is mine to do. And I tap into the courage that it takes to know it and claim it. I set my intentions and I feel into their expression, experiencing in my heart and mind what it will be like when those intentions are manifested. And I'm grateful for its expression. And I lean into my faith that my good is always available to me and that God willingly and lovingly provides what I intend. And so as I energetically create that knowing, I co-create its expression with Spirit. This is the creative process, and I know that it works as I work it. So today I claim the courage, the clarity, the love and faith that brings my intentions and all of our intentions into reality. I'm grateful for all that comes to me as I align with Spirit, and I trust that all is unfolding right now for the highest and best for all. And so I rest now, letting it be, knowing that it's already done and done perfectly. And so together we say, and so it is. And now I invite you to just stay in this space, this quiet space of connectedness, of silence, knowing that each of us is a divine being and that each of us is co-creating in every minute.
So good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. It's nice to see everyone in person, isn't it? Yes. Yes. What a month. We went from Christmas to ice, and now we're at a balmy 60 degrees. And welcome to those of you in our virtual community. Thank you. I hope you're warm and cozy wherever you are. Before I begin anything, I want to share about our teen group. They managed to get out and go to teen camp before everything happened, although I think they did see some snow. So I want to bring up Jaden Parsons and Soleil Davis. Come on up. I never officially got to introduce Jane to you, but she is the teen program manager. And this community is very blessed to have her. And you all know Soleil because you've watched her grow up. So, and I asked them to come up and share about camp. How was camp?
Camp was so lovely in the snow. Everybody enjoyed it. People from California all were like, "This is the first time seeing snow." It was really wonderful. It was full of love. It was full of light. It was full of community. And it's so beautiful to grow up in that community and then see it, be a part of facilitating that for the teens. And then Soleil is our international teen leadership for Portland. Yeah. So.
That's a big deal, people.
So I think camp went amazing. One thing that really stood out to me was the amount of support, just not even towards me, which I did have a lot of support because I decided on the first night to dislocate my left shoulder due to twister. Mind you, this last Tuesday, I had a right shoulder surgery because I've dislocated this one 4 different times. So, I'm just really out of maintenance. But I had a lot of support from my adult leadership, as well as Ben and Jaden, who I got to share an amazing family with Jaden, which was just awesome. And yeah, it was nice having everybody's support, and we all just kind of helped each other when we were all struggling, which is kind of what teen camp is, where it doesn't matter who you are. If you need help, we're going to help you. If you don't want it, we won't give it to you, but we're going to go ahead and give you our energy from a distance. So it was nice. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Ben and Malachi and Aurora, who also came with us, because we wouldn't have had a teen group without those two. So thank you guys for being a part of Portland's first ever teen group at camp.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I didn't think about it. It was the first time. So the teen group got to be there the first time. So thank you. And thank you, Ben, and thank you, Sean, for being advisors and overseeing this. We really appreciate it. So it's my last Sunday as your interim minister. And yeah, thank you. I will be back from time to time as guest speaker, and we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. I'm going to kind of guide you through what the next steps are and remind you about what we've already talked about before, just as a reminder. But I read this, wanted to start with something interesting and humorous. I saw this on Facebook, and we all know who Jeff Bezos is and how he created Amazon, and Amazon is a very powerful company. And one day, a husband said to his wife, "I am worried that Jeff Bezos is listening to us." And she laughed, and she said, "Oh, don't be silly." And so she laughed, and then he laughed. And then Siri laughed. And then Alexa laughed. So you never know who's listening in. So our theme is Grand Rising, and our topic today is feeling good. Well, we feel good when we're able to do good in the world, right? We want to feel good ourselves, but when we feel the best, it's about doing good works in the world. And so how do we do that? Our vision statement for the Centers of Spiritual Living is creating a world that works for everyone. And you often hear us say that, and this year we're invited to put this vision into practice by having an intentional viewpoint of it. And how are we doing that? How are we doing that individually? How do we do that in our community together? So we ask ourselves, what does a world that works for everyone look like? So these are questions we can ask ourselves. What would that look like? It would look like people cooperating, people participating, right? People connecting. Each of us was born at this moment for a reason. We are here on this planet right now for a reason. You are here at Centers for Spiritual Living for a reason, right? You were drawn here. You were brought here. If you go back and remember that day where you were called into the center and realize that you want the center to be your spiritual community. So when we start our day in grand rising of seeing the good in the world, of seeing that good everywhere, we create this ripple, not only in our own lives, in our families' lives, but in the lives of our community, in the lives of humanity. I love this quote by Edwene Gaines. She says, "Wonderful, magical things can happen if you are willing to commit to putting yourself out there, stepping outside your comfort zone, playing at the game of risk." It feels like risk, right? When we step outside our comfort zone, it feels like risk. It feels like playing without a net. But when you make a commitment, you're never playing without a net because God is your net. That when we step out in faith, we know that we are being supported. That Spirit is always supporting us, always standing by. And we forget from time to time, and that's why we come into spiritual community. So we have a place to come and remember. We take classes together, we work together. So this year, we're invited to step out of our comfort zone. How can we share this work? How can we share the healing that we know to help create a world that works for everyone? And so there's this, Ernest Holmes spoke of the Sermon by the Sea in Asilomar. This is a very famous talk that he did, and I'm going to quote some of it. "Find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of his soul, and I will find another Savior, another Jesus, and an exalted human being. Find me one person who no longer has any fear of the universe, or of God, or of man, or of anything else, and you will have brought to me someone in whose presence we may sit, and fear shall vanish as clouds before sunlight. Find me someone who has redeemed his own soul, and he shall become my redeemer. Find me someone who has given all that he has in love without morbidity, and I will have found the lover of my soul." Such a beautiful message that he gave, that find someone who does not act out of fear, but out of faith, who does not find what's wrong with the world, but with what's right with the world. And so when we live from this understanding, if we can be that person, if we can live from that place, it allows us to live by example. And when we're able to do that, we inspire others to do the same. This is how we lead our collective grand rising, how we come together for the grand rising. I really invite you to come next week to be with Dr. Ruth in this workshop. She is an extraordinary teacher and a mystic, and so to be in her presence is wonderful. So take this opportunity to be here next week. So we're looking at it through 3 points of view. For the first one, to be for something and against nothing. That we love ourselves. When we love each other, that's the center point of our teaching. That we love ourselves and we love each other. But that sure can be difficult to practice, isn't it? Especially when they're not doing what we want them to do. Especially when they say something we don't like, when we're not getting our way. It's really difficult. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Each day, we do that by doing our spiritual practice, by being in prayer and meditation, spiritual reading, spiritual music, by coming to class, by being in community, by serving community. Those are all the tools that help us stay connected to Spirit. Our classes are opportunities for us to learn the principles and how do we incorporate those into my life. And our centers have been designed to be that space for each one of us, to come regardless of where we've been and what we've been doing, to come together to be in that place of oneness. Dr. Kathy Hearn says that we come together to grow up all over each other. I like that, because we grow up all over each other because we come and we make mistakes and we rub up against each other, and we falter, but we're in a safe space to learn and to try again and to be in the presence of love. So in our center and in life, we're invited to fearlessly live our truth out loud. That we know that we're learning principle, and I look at the teens, how blessed they are to be in a community where they can practice that and be together in that. That's so extraordinary to have that opportunity. And so as we practice this, at whatever place we are in our lives, we get to practice it each day, that we deepen in our faith. We're willing to step out. We're willing to see beyond the appearances of the world. We look for an opportunity to see something good happen. Now, there's someone that's been in the news, and you may or may not know who Tyler Bass is. Anyone know who Tyler Bass is? Okay. Oh, no football fans here. Okay. Tyler Bass had what only can be described as a very bad day. He is the Buffalo Bills kicker, and he missed the field goal that would have tied the playoff game against Kansas City Chiefs. He missed the field goal, and they lost the game. Now, the only reason that I know about this is because I was watching to see Taylor Swift. I wanted to see her new coat, and I wanted to get a glimpse of her. And so I watched this, and I saw it happen. But if that's not hard enough, imagine the agony of that, to have that happen. That wasn't bad enough. Then social media had nothing but hate. It was full of hate and harassment for him. But he had an advocate. There is a nonprofit, no-kill cat adoption agency in Western New York that Tyler was connected with. He was a volunteer there, he served there, he contributed there, and they were not going to stand for that. They posted a message on social media after the game and said, "We stand with Tyler Bass. Don't bully our friend." And so that they said they wanted to support him, and they said, if you support Tyler, then we invite you to show your support and to make a pledge of $22 in his name, because his number is 2. So invite you to make a pledge for $22 in his name. They said, Tyler does not deserve any of the hate he is receiving. He is an excellent football player and even a better person who took the time to help our organization and rescue cats. Leave our friend alone. Yeah. So, what happened? $260,000 have been donated to the cat adoption agency. So they turned something around that was, there was something negative. He was being bullied, and they turned around and they said, no, we support him. Help us support him with your contribution. And it's over that amount. Every time I look to see the correct amount, it's a new amount. So be for something and against nothing. See, the universe is speaking. It's an echo. Be for something and against nothing, to make it our practice, to remember that. We say we want, the second one is a world that works for everyone. We say we want a world that works for everyone. And we use this tagline to describe our global purpose. But how does this work? What do we do? That every day we look for something good that we can do. What changes could we make individually and collectively? What can we do in our community? What can we do here in our center? What can we do for our neighbors? What can we do to have a world that works for everyone? Well, I have another example. This past summer, more than 300 high school students signed up for this student exchange program. Now, usually if you want to go experience another culture, another group in another place, you would go to another country, right? That's an exchange program. You would go to Europe or Asia and have that experience. Well, they did this without ever leaving the country. Because there's a program called the American Exchange Project, which was co-founded by David McCullough, who is the grandson of the Pulitzer Prize winner, David McCullough. And so they fund high school students to spend a week in the summer after their senior year in another American city that is the complete opposite of their socio-political and economic city that they live in. And so 300 students had an opportunity to do this. So one group that they followed went from Albany, California to Dodge City, Kansas. And in the video I saw, they got to Kansas and went, it's so flat. So they spent a week in each other's communities. And they got to find out how people lived, what they thought, how they struggled. They got to learn dances and songs and music from each other. They got to learn about food and culture and family and relationship. They got to learn from each other. Imagine what it would be like in a world that works for everyone if we got to do that. They got to do that, and not only did they have that experience, but they bonded as friends. And some of them said, I don't have these kinds of friends at home. I am alone at home, and now I feel connected. And so the goal of this project is to have 1 million students do this in the future. That they're building this and they're funding it, and to have 1 million students do it, because that's the generation who's going to move us. That's the generation who's going to say, no, we're finished. We're not having this separateness anymore. We're not having this bullying anymore. We're not having a disregard for human experience anymore. We see a world that works for everyone. And the third one is the collective grand rising. And that's when we wake up each day in knowing that there's something greater being revealed. And that the collective grand rising has even a bigger opportunity, and that's with all that we can do online. And Reverend Larry was so brilliant in how he saw that a long, long time ago about the opportunity to get another community coming forward and to be online. And now our classes are online, our activities are online, that we have a virtual community, that we're here and we have an expansive community that's all around the world that's joining us right now. That's a collective grand rising, the opportunity we have to share this good, to have this good shared and expanded in the world. We have in our centers the training to practice non-judgment, inclusion, loving kindness, and peace within our communities. That's what we teach. That's what Ernest taught us. And so we have that. We know that. We are not meant to be an organization restricted to teaching the law of attraction for individual gain. It's not for me individual, but how can I see this for the collective? So co-creating a world, a community where everyone feels welcome and supported. Doesn't that feel good? And that when we know that, when we feel that, when we embrace that, when we welcome that, it is a feeling like no other. And so we've learned from the pandemic that this center, this church, is not a building. It's not just a building, and we're grateful for this building. We are so grateful that we have a building to meet in. We know that this is not just a teaching, and we are blessed to use this teaching in our lives and expand it around the world. We know that this is not just a place to come on Sunday, but it's a community of like-minded individuals who are willing to create a world that works for everyone. So as you move forward in the weeks ahead in the candidating process, I want to remind you of 3 things. First, to be open and receptive. And the reason I made that abrupt transition, that as we bring in a new minister here, that we are open and receptive to continuing this. That as this new minister comes, we are open and receptive. So you're going to be candidating in the weeks ahead. You're going to be interviewing different ministers. You're going to be hearing from them and what they have to offer. And this is your opportunity. So as you do that, I invite you to remember 3 things. The first is to be open and receptive. Be aware of any unconscious bias you have or any feeling that you have. You might have a speaker that comes up and they're wearing a brown sweater and you go, oh, I don't like brown sweaters. I don't like him. So pay attention. Notice if you have any thoughts. What are you thinking? They may have an idea that you're not familiar with. Be open and receptive to whatever may be coming. More will be revealed. Trust that more will be revealed. The second is to be curious and ask questions. It's very easy in the world to jump to conclusions. We hear something and we go, now why are they doing that? I don't like that. That doesn't feel right. Why are they doing that? Instead, what would it be like if we walked up to someone and said, I'm curious, why is this being done this way? Why are we moving to this project instead of this project? To be curious and ask curious questions. As a society, unfortunately, we tend to attack before we have all the facts. Social media is a gift and a detriment, because we tend to attack before we know the truth. We tend to attack before we ask the questions. Try your best to come from curiosity. Be curious and ask questions. And the third is to stay centered in faith. This has been a faith-based process. I have been with you for a year now. February 1st will be a year. And it has been a faith-based process. We took this process not to look at the physical conditions, but of a greater viewpoint of what do we want in a minister. What can I be? How can I be to bring that minister forward? How can I see this differently to bring that forward? We came together in faith to do the co-creation process, to come up with our prayer, and to have this walk out in faith. We often tend to abandon faith in the last minutes. Do you ever notice that? We get tired and we say, this is never going to work. And we were this close to having it work. We were this close, but we say, oh, I don't know if that's going to work. So we have been through a phenomenal year together. We had a lot of great things happen, wonderful events that the congregation has grown. The board has grown stronger. The board is very clear about who and what they are, and have transparency and what they're looking for. They truly operate out of wisdom. The congregation has grown. Our programs have grown. The teen program is here. That everything is growing. So we are continuing to move on. And so as we welcome this new person, they see that and they receive that, and they're willing to be in this environment. And it's all because you stayed center in faith. So I invite you to stay in that place of faith. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to read our sacred covenant prayer together. And Edward, can you get me one of those behind you? Oh, Nancy's got it. Thank you. Thank you. So let's all stand. And it's in the seat pocket in front of you. The prayer's in the seat pocket in front of you. And let's read this out loud, knowing that we are demonstrating this and bringing this forward right now. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of spirit as wisdom. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God, for it is written, to realize that God is ever present, ever available, is to know that all the wisdom, intelligence, and power of the universe is right where you are. God's in agreement with my beloved community. I see my new minister before me as lighting this safe space in unity, love, and belonging. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself. I am inspired to align with divine wisdom so that all around me feel strengthened and loved. I am calling forth the awareness of oneness as a source of universal truth. I am demonstrating the power of love in leading and guiding PCSL in its expression of wholeness and abundance. I am expressing passion for providing broad educational opportunities for spiritual growth and experiences both in person and virtually. I am nurturing modern families, engaging our communities, and standing up for a diverse, equitable, and inclusive society. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will express spirit and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. And so it is. Thank you so much. So as you have spoken that truth, you've spoken it in the first person for yourself, and we know that we're calling that forward. And we call that forward for ourselves. We call that forward in our new minister. We call that forward in our community. So just know that you have prayed a very powerful prayer together. So let us take this all into prayer right now. Oh, so I just give thanks with a grateful heart for this opportunity to be in this sacred community, knowing and recognizing the power and the presence of God is in all, as all, through all, with all, as close as the very breath that I breathe, that God is and I am. And so I know that each of us is a divine being expressing that light, expressing that freedom, expressing that grace. And I know as we go out into the world, we take this with us. We take this good, that this teaching, this practice, this expression, we take this with us is love. And that whoever we meet along the way, we meet them in love. We look for every opportunity to make a difference in a world that works for everyone. We embrace our own families, our own communities. And we send this love, this light right now around the planet. Those places of conflict and war, those places where people are hurting, those places where there is sadness. We send this light, this love, knowing that they are being lifted up in this vibration of love. And I know that the good that is God is revealed. I know this new minister comes forward with ease and grace, with love and light. I know that this community continues to grow and prosper. I know that we continue to be blessed in enormous ways. So I give thanks with a grateful heart for all that are given and for so much more we are yet to receive. I give grateful thanks and release this word in deep gratitude, and together we affirm. And so it is. And so it is. Peace and blessings. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, we'd love to have you visit in person. The Portland Center for Spiritual Living is located at 6211 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Our inspirational service is at 11 a.m. every Sunday. We also have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. We have a variety of content dedicated specifically for our podcast listeners. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its podcasts, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Our website is also the place to learn more about what's going on at the center or to contact us. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.